Hi, this is Kerala Ficklin at KeralaFicklin.com, iStudyGuides.com. If you want to download any of the cards, the iStudy cards, the iStudy guides, let me see, the study aids, the MP3s, the videos, you can go to iStudyGuides.com, iStudyCards.com, anywhere INIWHERE.com. Excuse me. Okay, if you want to get any of my writings, you can go to Pedians, P-E-D-I-A-N-S, Pedians.com. So, this is a continuation of the first tape in which I'm looking at when there are two verbs in a sentence. We know the form of the first verb. The first verb must be in agreement with the subject. If the subject is I, you, we, they, then the verb is, for example, to need. The verb is I need, I, you, we, they need, he, she, it needs. But after need, let's say you have another verb. Now, in which form does that verb go? Is it in the simple form, present participle, or the gerund, the ing form, all the same thing? Or is it in the infinitive? Okay, which form does that verb go? Right now we're looking at those verbs which require that the second verb is in the infinitive form. So what I'm doing is what I did in the first tape, is that I give you the verb in English, then I give you its translation in Spanish, and then I give you the sentence in English to show you how that verb is actually used. For example, to promise. Now this is a true cognate. To promise in Spanish is prometer. 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 Sometimes it's hard to pronounce those E's like A. Prometer. He promised to change his mind. So you promise, what did you promise? What action did you promise to change? You can't say he promised changing. You can't say he promised change. You said he promised to change. Because if you say he promised changes, I don't know if you know that you realize that change in English can be both a verb as well as a noun. So if you say he promised changes, you're using change as a noun versus a verb. So you have to be very careful in English. Very careful. So we're talking about he promised to change his mind. To offer. Ofrecerse. Ofrecerse a in Spanish. Because in Spanish it's the a. Ofrecerse a. The students offered to clean the entire school. The students offered to clean the entire school. To refuse, negarse a. Negarse a. I refuse to apologize to him. I refuse to apologize to him. Okay. To register. Now that's a false cognate because I'm not saying registrar. I'm saying inscribirse. Inscribirse. Not registrarse. Okay? That's a false cognate with register and registrar. I haven't registered to vote yet. Okay? I haven't registered to vote yet. Oh, no he votado. No he inscribido. Inscrito. Not inscribido. That's wrong. That's bad Spanish. Inscrito. But you know, I don't know in Spanish if you say, because see, in the United States, I have to check that out. Because I think it all depends, but I know inscribido is wrong. It's inscrito. Bad Spanish, bad. To agree. Consentir in. Now this you're going to find I have a very hard problem when there's a C in Spanish. The way I pronounce it very badly. Consentir in o acceptar, because I want to pronounce it like it is in English. In English it's accept, but in Spanish it's aceptar. Very difficult for me. So the verb is to agree in English. The official agreed to sign the document. The officials The official agreed to sign the document. Okay, to agree also means quedar in, but you already know, after agree you have to. To appear, parecer. To appear, parecer. That's sort of like a true cognate. No, I guess you wouldn't. Aparecer. Okay. I don't know how he appears to understand. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Let me say that again. I don't know, but he appears to understand. Now you can say to appear to understand, or he seems to understand. And to seem is much more common than appear, okay? So the verb is to appear or to seem, and seem is spelt S-E-E-M, seem. And that is also translated as parecer. Okay, I have it right there. I don't know, but he seems to understand. To forget. To forget. Olvidarse de. Olvidarse de. She is angry because her husband forgot to call. And he's going to pay. He's going to be in the doghouse. And that's a little joke that when a man or a woman, but a lot of times it's a man, when he doesn't do something that the wife wants, they say, ooh, you're going to be in the doghouse. That means she's going to be angry with you for a long time, at least for a night or two. Okay, olvidarse de. She is angry because she forgot to call, because her husband forgot to call, excuse me. To learn in Spanish, aprender a. The students finally learned to speak Spanish. Okay, to learn to speak. Okay, and in Spanish is aprender a. Which, yeah, that goes. To learn how. To learn how. Right? And a lot of times you can say you learn how or you learn to. So, but even if you have the word how, you still use the infinitive. So here we go. And it's aprender a in Spanish. The students finally learned how to speak Spanish. So to learn to speak Spanish or learn how to speak Spanish, it basically means the same thing. If there's a difference, frankly, I don't see it. To try. To try. Intentar. Intentar. The teachers did try to help him. The teachers did try to help him. Intentar. To attempt. Once again, in Spanish, that would be intentar. The doctors will attempt to save his life. Attempt to save. So the second verb is in the infinitive. Let me make sure I'm okay. A little bit more time. To be able to. To be able to. So the to there is basically part of the verb to be able to. And in Spanish it's poder. Poder. To be able to. It's can. But the more formal way is to be able to. Still have a little bit of time. I won't be able to visit you this year. I won't be able to visit you this year. To start. To start. Now you're going to see I have a problem when I have to pronounce the word empezar. It's that in English, that Z in Spanish. So it's empezar. I pronounce it like the Spaniards do with the empezar. Or I try to pronounce it with the S sound, but it's difficult for me. She did not start to teach until 7:30. Empezar, to begin. To. Okay, I don't have that much time. To continue, continuar or seguir. I will continue to protest until we are free. I will continue to protest. Okay, so two verbs in a sentence. First verb must agree with the subject. Second verb must agree with the first verb, and there's really no rule. You just learned some of the verbs in which the second verb must be in the infinitive form. Corrales Ficklin at corralesficklin.com.